Today we are going to start with a new chapter, organisms and populations. See, from this chapter, the questions asked will be objective based, either 1 mark or 2 marks questions. Okay, this will be followed further in two more chapters that we'll discuss later on. So, let us start with the first concept of organization and population. The first concept is ecology. Here you need to emphasize on the definitions given. Ecology is the study of interactions which is between the organisms in the environment and also within the organism and the abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are the non-living factors. Ecology as such is concerned with four different levels. You can see what are the four different levels here. One, organism, second, population, third, communities, and then biomes. Ecology has its turn from atmospheres, biosphere, ecosystem, community, population, organism, body system, organ, tissue, cell, and a molecule. But we have to go in a reverse manner where it starts with a molecule, then come to cell, tissues, organ, body system, organism, population, community, ecosystem, and then the entire biosphere. So what is important here is you have to know the entire definition of ecology and the four different levels of biological organization. Let us go for next. Organisms and its environment. So when we are talking about organism and its environment, we need to study about the biome distribution with respect to the annual temperature and precipitation. Now, what do you mean by precipitation? Precipitation is the annual rainfall. So, on the basis of the temperature and the annual rainfall, you can see that there are different biomes. Look at the diagram which is given here. It's a graphical representation of different biomes with respect to temperature and mean annual precipitation, that is the rainfall. Accordingly, we have different biomes like desert biome, grassland, tropical forest, temperate forest, coniferous forest, Arctic and alpine tundra region. Now, when you discuss about the biomes, first comes physiological ecology. Now, what do you mean by physiological ecology? It is the ecology at the organismic level, means here we need to study different organisms and how they are adapted to the environment for their survival and reproduction. यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे कि कैसे organisms are adapted to the environment for their survival and also for reproduction. Then the concept comes rotation of the earth and the tilt of its axis. Because of the rotation of the earth, there are different temperature you can see on different biomes, and the major biomes as you can see there in the diagram, desert, rainforest, tundra, etc., and are formed due to variations and precipitation, that is the rain and the snow. So accordingly आपको यहाँ पे biomes के नाम पता होने चाहिए, desert, grassland, tropical forest, temperate forest, coniferous forest, Arctic and alpine tundra. Okay, and then what do you mean by physiological ecology? Let us go for next, regional and local variations. Now, what are regional and local variations? Regional and local variations means again come to the vegetation and the soil of that particular region. Accordingly, you can see that the biomes lead to the formation of different habitats. According जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि desert animals, desert plants, तो जैसे biomes है वैसे plants and animals को अपने characters मिले हैं. Then come to the next concept. In the same, that is organism and its environment. Here you can see life exists in both the type of climate, in extreme deserts as well as in extreme tundra regions, that is in the snow-clad regions. Example you can see here in the diagram, Rajasthan desert, rain-soaked Meghalaya forest, deep ocean trenches, torrential streams, polar regions, high mountain tops, thermal springs, composite pits. So here there are many different biomes accordingly how the organisms adjust themselves. Okay. Now for example you can see even our intestine is a habitat. किसका habitat है तो different microorganisms के. So here we need to give the example of the organisms which are present in the intestine of animals. In human beings you can find ascaris present. In case of sheep and goat you find there is presence of tapeworm. So what are physicochemical? That is physicochemical components. These are again abiotic components. When we talk about water, light, soil, temperature, ये सब क्या हो जाते हैं physicochemical और abiotic components. When we talk about biotic components, उसमें आएंगे pathogens, parasites, predators, competitors, etc. They all come under biotic components, that is the living organisms. Then the next concept, let us see in detail what are these abiotic factors. तो यहाँ पे आपको उसके नाम पता होना चाहिए. एग्जाम में you may get a question like enlist abiotic factors. So temperature, water, light and soil. All those you can see here in this one diagram itself. Then come to next. What are abiotic factors? Temperature. Most ecologically relevant environmental factor is temperature. You can see the animals living in extreme hot desert as well as in the extreme cold tundra or the polar regions. Okay. So the places where there is temperature less than 50, you say they are tropical greater than 50, you say I'm bolenge tropical deserts. And when the temperature goes in minus, you can see that those are polar areas or snow-clad regions. The average temperature in the thermal springs, that is hot water springs, and the deep sea hydrothermal vent, okay, जहाँ पे बहुत ही hot temperature it exceeds up above 100 degrees Celsius. You cannot see mango tree growing in temperate countries like Canada, Germany. There are no snow leopard in Kerala forest. Tuna fishes, कहाँ पे होते हैं? They are very rarely present in the tropical latitudes in the ocean. Okay, so these are different exceptions you can see according to the temperature change. The next abiotic factor to study is the detailed explanation about the temperature. Temperature कहाँ पे affect करता है? तो it affects the kinetics of the enzymes and the metabolism and even the physiological functions of an organism. Okay, if you say for example, okay, there are two types coming under the thermal tolerance. Organisms will be of two types. Eurythermal means those organisms which can tolerate a wide range of temperature. Animals living in the hot desert, they can tolerate wide range of temperature, उसे हम बोलेंगे eurythermal. Stenothermal means they can tolerate only a narrow range of temperature. Okay, so accordingly उनके नाम हमें याद रखने हैं. The second factors comes water. Water is also influencing the life of the organism. Life on the earth originated in water, as you all know. Desert organisms, they have a special adaptation to limited water. You can see, for example, camel, they keep the water completely conserved in their humps. Then for aquatic animals, water quality, that is a chemical composition and the pH of the water is very, very important. The salt concentration, that is a salinity in parts per thousand, okay, is less than 5% in inland water, 30 to 35% in sea water, and it's greater than 100% in some hypersaline lagoons. Okay, this is again the effect of water on the different organism and leading to their different habitats. Here you can see some of the examples given based on the tolerance to salinity, कितना salt content है पानी में, according to that you know they are, जैसे यूरी थर्मल था वैसे यहाँ पे यूरी हलाइन होगा. They can tolerate a wide range of salinity. Then comes stenohaline, they can tolerate a narrow range of salinity. Many freshwater animals cannot live for long in seawater and vice versa. Why? Because of the osmotic problems here. Okay, so here you have to take for example euryhaline and stenohaline. Euryhaline, they can tolerate a wide range of salinity. You can take for example crab and the common molly. And then goldfish and haddock, they come under stenohaline, they can tolerate a narrow range of salinity. This important, here the examples are very important. The next concept comes light, abiotic factor. Light plays a very important role in the life of organisms. You can see that the plants, they produce their food in presence of light. Some forest plants like herbs and shrubs are adapted to photosynthesis. Why? Again, they need optimum amount of low light because they are overshadowed by tall canopy trees. They don't need large amount of light intensity for photosynthesis. Many plants depend on sunlight for photoperiodism. The meaning is that for flowering, like sunflower and all, these are certain flowers which requires proper sunlight for flowering. Many animals use a diurnal and the seasonal variations in light intensity and photoperiod for timing their foraging, reproduction and migratory activities. Now what is this? Here you can see that light plays a very important role in the life of certain animals. Again, in terms of foraging. Foraging means for their growth, then is for reproduction and also for migrating to different migratory activities means to migrate to different areas. Then comes light. How light plays a very important role in life of different organisms. जैसे हमने लिया था spectrum quality of solar radiation is very very important for the life. UV spectrum is very harmful. You know that UV radiations, if they come on the earth directly, they are very, very harmful to the organisms here, both plants as well as animals. Even the color components of the visible spectrum are available for marine plants. Here you can see in the diagram it's given here. Soil. Next abiotic factor is soil. The nature and the property of soil is again very important. They have a differ due to the climate, weathering process, sedimentation, method of soil development accordingly. So यहाँ पे ये question बहुत important है कि कौन से factors responsible है for the nature and the property of soil. One is the climate, then is the weathering process, then sedimentation, method of soil development, etc. Then you can see soil composition, the size of the soil, the aggregation of the soil. It all determines the percolation and the water holding capacity. The soil का water holding capacity किस पे depend है? So it depends upon the soil composition, the grain size and the aggregation. ये terms याद रखो. The characteristics and parameters, कौन कौन से parameters या characters है जो soil को alter करते हैं, like pH, mineral composition, and then comes the topography. They determine the vegetation and the animals in an area. Okay, here you can see in the diagram given there. In aquatic environment, you can see that the sediment characteristic determine the type of the benthic animals. Now, what are benthic? Benthic animals are like starfish, brittle star, and all, which are present at the bottom of the sea. Responses to the abiotic factors. Now, we organisms, we have different types of adaptations to the different environmental factors. Organisms maintain a constant internal environment, that is homeostasis. Homeostasis क्या है? We adjust ourselves according to the temperature outside. When it is cold, we sweat. We drink more amount of water. Sorry. When it is summer season, we sweat and we drink more amount of water. But in cold season, we wear sweat clothes and all. Why? Because we feel very cold. So these are the different adaptations which we show for the changing environment. Okay, it is called as homeostasis. This is possible for different processes, that is regulate, conform, migrate, suspend. These are the different following processes. In what way we show responses to the abiotic factors. ये terms यहाँ पे याद रखो. Responses to abiotic factor. Number one is regulation. I gave you an example of summer and winter season. It is the maintenance of homeostasis by physiological and behavioral means. What it ensures a constant body temperature, constant osmotic concentration, जिसे हम बोलेंगे thermoregulation या फिर osmoregulation. Example, all birds and mammals, very few lower vertebrates and invertebrates. You can take for example here. Then regulation में ये भी आता है, thermoregulation in the mammals. In what way do we show that? It's the ability to maintain a constant body temperature. So whatever be the outside temperature, our body's temperature always remains constant, that is 39 degrees Celsius. In summer, when the outside temperature goes above 40, still the body temperature remains up to 37 only. This results in evaporative cooling and brings down the body temperature. With sweat and the body temperature goes down. In winter season, when the outside temperature is very, very low, then too, the body produces heat and raises the body temperature. This is called as homeostasis or regulation. The next concept of regulation is shown here by the hummingbird and the screw. इसे बोलेंगे thermoregulation. Is energetically expensive, especially for the smaller animals. Why? Because they have a larger surface area relative to their volume. So they lose body heat very fast when it is cold outside, and they have to expend much energy to generate body heat. Therefore, various animals, small animals, are rare in polar regions. Okay? क्यों? क्योंकि अगर बाहर बहुत ही cold है, it takes very very much time for them to gain heat. इसलिए ये जो birds या छोटे छोटे animals हमें polar regions में कम मिलते हैं. Responses to abiotic factors. Second comes conform. In what way do we conform? What are conformers? 99% of the animals and nearly all plants cannot maintain a constant internal environment. And those organisms, उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? We say them cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature change according to the outside temperature. Okay? They are called as conformers. उसे हम conformers बोलेंगे. Like in aquatic animals, osmotic concentration of the body fluid changes with that of the ambient osmotic concentration. Okay, बाहर का जैसे टेम्परेचर होता है वैसे अकॉर्डिंगली तो उनका बॉडी टेम्परेचर या बॉडी फ्लूइड का pH चेंज हो जाता है. Here you can see in the diagram there are many aquatic animals and the mollusks. There's a diagrammatic representation of the organismic response. You can see conformers बहुत ज़्यादा response दिखाते हैं. They change according to the outside. Partial regulators means like us. For example, our body temperature and the body remains constant. Whatever will be the outside changes. Regulators हम किसे बोलेंगे? Those who can regulate. इसके पहले जो हमने पढ़ा है. Migrate. What do you mean by migrate? There are many animals, especially some of the birds. They move away temporarily from the stressful habitat to a more hospitable and a very comfortable region. When stressful period is over, they come back. For example, Siberian crane. During winter season, the Kyolado National Park, Bharatpur, Rajasthan, hosts migratory birds coming from Siberia. These birds they come from Siberia in the cold winter season. Why? Because there is very very cold temperature there in the northern regions. इसलिए वो भरतपुर राजस्थान में आते हैं during winter. Example is Siberian crane. Then what is suspend? In bacteria, fungi, and other lower plants, thick-walled spores help to survive unfavorable conditions. Under suitable conditions, they germinate. यानी जब तक suitable condition नहीं मिलता है, they don't germinate, they remain dormant. ये भी एक suspension is what they have spores and those spores are thick-walled. In higher plants, you can see seeds and some vegetative reproductive structures. They serve to tide over the period of stress. वो अपने metabolic activity को कम करते हैं during the unfavorable condition and they germinate under favorable moisture and temperature. उसको हम बोलेंगे suspend. ये suspend के examples है. Then suspend के और भी examples है. You can see there in the animals also hibernation. Deer या फिर जो ये है frogs and all, they go in hibernation during winter season. Estivation of some snails and fishes during the summer season. You can see here hibernation of bears. This go into induced sleep. Estivation in the snails, that is they remain dormant. उनमें कुछ भी movement नहीं होता है. Mudfish into a drain. इसको हम बोलेंगे it's called as diapause, a stage of suspended development. वो अपना growth होने नहीं देते उस वक्त. Of many zooplanktons in lakes and ponds. Okay, so hibernation, estivation, and then diapause, it comes under suspend. Now adaptation. You all are very familiar with adaptation. क्या है? Morphological, physiological, and behavioral attribute that enables an organism to survive and reproduce in its habitat. उसको हम बोलेंगे adaptations. Okay, you can see here many different organisms adapted to different situations. यहाँ पे polar bear है in tundra, the snow-clad region. Here you can see chameleons. Okay, they change their body color according to the outside colors. Then opuntia है जो desert animal है, camel है desert animal है. You can see a duck which is a aquatic bird. Correct? So these are certain adaptations which evolve over a long evolutionary time and are genetically fixed. अभी adaptations of kangaroo rat. Kangaroo rat is present in North American deserts. So it shows a desert adaptation. उसमें changes हमें क्या दिखते हैं? Internal fat oxidation gives water as byproduct. So water is conserved in their body. Ability to concentrate urine so that the minimal volume of the water is used to remove excretory product. So they have concentrated urine. Then the example for the desert plants. Desert plants में कौन आता है? Opuntia. Presence of thick cuticle of leaf surfaces. The stomata are arranged in deep pits to minimize water loss through transpiration. You can see special photosynthetic pathway, CAM pathway, that enables the stomata to remain closed during the daytime. Desert plants like Opuntia have no leaves. Leaves नहीं है तो क्या है? Photosynthesis will be done, but the transpiration will be less. Okay, photosynthesis here will be done by the means of stem. So here you can see adaptation shown by mammals. Mammals में क्या adaptation है? Especially if you take this one, that is a cold. Animals present in the cold areas. They have shorter ears and limbs to reduce the heat loss. Body से heat कम निकलना चाहिए बाहर, इसलिए उनके जो ear and limbs है, they are very short. Aquatic mammals like seal, they have a thick layer of fat, that is blubber, below their skin, which is acting as an insulator and reduces the loss of body heat. Physiological and biochemical adaptation. You can see this in archaebacteria, which are the primitive bacteria. You can see this bacteria present in the hot springs and in the deep sea. Hydrothermal vent, where the temperature is greater than 100. Okay. Then second, many fish, they also thrive in the Antarctic waters, which is below 0 degrees Celsius. Many marine invertebrates and fishes, they live at great depths in the ocean, where the pressure is greater than 100 times the normal atmospheric pressure. Anglerfish is one of the example. Then comes physiological and biochemical adaptations made at higher altitude. You can see the people who climb up to high altitudes. We feel altitude sickness. It's the symptoms like nausea, heart palpitations, and fatigue. This is due to low atmospheric pressure, so the body does not get enough oxygen. That is in places like Leh, Ladakh, and all, which is at very high altitudes greater than 3,500 meters and above. Generally we acclimatize the situation. It goes on for one day, one or two, but later on क्या हो जाता है, we acclimatize ourselves to the temperature over there, and the body compensates low oxygen availability by increasing the RBC and breathing rate and decreasing the binding capacity of hemoglobin. You can see behavioral adaptations. You can see these in desert lizards. They bask in the rain and they bask in the sun and absorb heat when their body temperature is low, but move into the shade when the ambient temperature starts increasing. This is a way how they show behavioral changes according to the outside temperature. Some species are capable of burrowing into the soil and hide, escape from the above ground heat. Some of the snakes, desert snakes, are one of the example for this. Now the next concept of this chapter is population. Okay, we'll go through this in the next lecture.